Okay, so what do you do when nothing's working out? You don't know what direction to take. You feel like everything that's coming at you is boulder after boulder after boulder, and you have no idea what's next. You stop. You don't push the car when the car runs out of gas. You don't push the car up a mountain when the car runs out of gas. You ask for help. You go fill up that tank, and you pause. So what happens when you feel the need to stop? You stop. And if you remember my analogy of the waves, this beautiful existence is like waves on the beach, which means in order for a lot of new and good to come in, some things have to go, but the tide will return. And you only ever experience everything as it is in this moment. There's solutions everywhere. You are unbelievably capable, and you are no more worthy now than you will be when you get to that beautiful goal that you desire or hope that will fulfill you in some way. You are whole now. So breathe and stop pushing the car.
Hello everyone, it's Emmanuel Cooke. Today we will be reacting to a new video, and I hope that you guys enjoy the video.
Do you find you've got no direction in life? Well, this is why. You need to anchor in. Where have you been? Where are you now? And where are you choosing to go? Just like driving on a journey. You don't start the journey in your driveway without knowing where your destination is. So take the time to have a look at where have you been? What is it that's been really good? Where are the journeys that have taken you into your life that really make you feel that you're alive, that you're excited to be alive and living and in this crazy world? Then have a look at where are you now? And when you understand where you are now, that's when you can be in your present state and go, this is where I'm now choosing to be. Unless you've got a direction to go to, unless you've got that destination, the direction won't come up in your life. So sit back and look at what is the ultimate in my next destination? What does it look like? Play it out, visualize it. Get the destination and then start to write down the what it is you're choosing. Allow the how to happen, because you really are required to have a direction. Otherwise, you're floating like the cork in the ocean. Anchor yourself, know where you've been, where you are, and where you're choosing to be.
Some days I wake up feeling lost. Some days I wake up feeling like I have no sense of direction. Some days I wake up feeling like I'm missing something. But every day I have to constantly remind myself I feel lost because I'm creating this new map. The things that I'm doing right now is the first time I'm doing it. Of course I don't know what I'm doing. Of course I'm gonna feel like I'm not in the right place. It's like walking through a forest that has no roads, bro. You're making your own path. So you can't say you're lost. You're just creating it, you feel me? And as far as my sense of direction, you just gotta walk by faith a lot of the times. You don't gotta always know where you're gonna be. You just gotta have faith that you're gonna be in the right place when it's time to land. And then as far as you missing something, bro, we have everything we possibly need to elevate ourselves. Don't feel like you're missing anything or missing out of anything, bro. We're in the right place at the right time doing the right thing. So just take time and appreciate everything you have around you. And that's all I gotta say. Okay.
If you're feeling a little bit lost or directionless in your career, like so many people are right now, it's actually a sign that you're probably on the right path, because you're actually showing up a little bit more present in your life. Like the genius author of this book says, there are some uncomfortable feelings that you have in your life that actually indicate you are on the right path. And one of them might be feeling lost or directionless in your career. Let me read this to you. Feeling lost is actually a sign you're becoming more present in your life. You're living less within the narratives and ideas that you've premeditated and more in the moment at hand. Until you're used to this, it will feel as though you're off track. You aren't. Once you become present, you're able to recognize that maybe the career or life path you thought you wanted at 20 is completely different at 25 or 30. The only real moment that matters is the moment you're in right now and what decisions you are going to make right now to build the future that you want to have. I just feel like someone probably needed to hear that today.
Maybe you're not lazy. Maybe you just lack direction. I think many of us, myself included, can fall into the spiral or the pit of feeling like we are lazy and hopeless and incapable of doing anything, when in reality we might just be lost in terms of what we are trying to get to, what direction we have. We might have all the energy, all the ability, all the skill to put into something, but if we don't have direction, then it's going to stay stagnant within us. And from my own experience, that stagnant energy starts to fester and then becomes something that feels very dark, depressing, and heavy for us to carry. And so the cycle of self-shaming might start, where we hate ourselves for not doing more or doing enough or being lazy. But maybe it's not that you're lazy. Maybe it's not that you're incapable. Maybe it's not that you're not doing enough. Maybe you're just stuck in a fog, which I think many of us experience, but we don't see it for what it is at times. And I think once we recognize that that's what our issue is, right? That we just don't have direction, we are stuck in a fog, it becomes easier to actually slowly start carving out a path for ourselves. And I think that's where intuition and general pleasure comes into play, because we need to know intuitively what feels aligned for us, and to also allow ourselves to feel good with the things we try to get or the direction we go in. Now, of course, there are many things in life we have to do because that's just how life is, and it's not always fun and pleasurable. But I think there are many times when we neglect the actually fun, pleasurable, aligned stuff, and that's important to look at if you feel directionless.
Life has been feeling overwhelming recently, and I have been feeling directionless, not really knowing what exactly I want to do or where to be in my life. And so this is for anyone who also feels the same, and also my friend that I was just having a conversation with about this. So we were just talking about being directionless, how to figure it out, and I recently came to terms with it and figured out that it's okay to be directionless. That's like the short answer. The thinking behind it was I was reading this book that didn't really seem that good to me, but eventually there was this one line that said, if you can't define every term in the question or every word in the question, or you can't act upon it in order to improve or make an impact, then forget about it. And what exactly does this mean? It seems a little bit convoluted, but it was a statement that was made to any general philosophical question. So questions like, what is the purpose in life? What is the meaning of life? And so to the first part that has to do with, can you define every term or every word in the question? It seems very simple to be like, oh, I do know the definition, but the easy way to put it is, can you tell me in one sentence what life means? Or what is life, right? The truth is that life is life has a myriad of different angles. It has very different facets, right? Like 90% of our life isn't figured out. And so it's hard for us to define what life is when we're still going through it. And that's for everyone who's alive. It doesn't matter if you're 10, it doesn't matter if you're 90, you still haven't figured out what life fully is until your life is over. And at that point, you can't answer this question. To the second part, is there anything that you can do in order to act upon this question? Is there something you can do to find the meaning of your life, right? Partly, yes. Like you can explore life, you can help try and figure it out, but nothing you inherently do is going to help you figure out your meaning in life. You're not going to go to a park and walk around and figure out what your meaning in life is, right? Maybe some people are lucky enough to reach that epiphany, but chances are that they're not going to figure out their whole life just from walking in a park, and not many people will. So the point is that if you fall into any of these categories, or you don't exactly know what your purpose or meaning in life is, then there's no point in tackling it. Eventually life will give your answer for you, right? So just forget about it. And this taught me that being directionless can be really relieving. It can be really nice to just forget that there needs to be a higher purpose to life. And it's taught me to just live in the present a lot more. And it's just been a lot more relaxing when you don't have to worry about what you have to do for your future, or the people that you have to impress, or that you have to be at a certain place in your life. Because to be very truthful, the only opinion that matters of where your life is yourself, and for me, it's myself, right? So hopefully this helps you. Hopefully this philosophical rant makes a little bit of sense. But long story short, just be okay with being directionless. Enjoy life, and things will come. Things will come in time. Make sure to write everything down, document it, or just keep it in your little noggin and just try and remember all the memories that were super important to you, and it'll all make sense at some point, or it'll help teach you a lesson, or you'll look back at it and be like, oh yeah, this actually helped me figure out a part of who I am, and it's part of the reason why I've reached this part in my life. So just keep living life, and just keep enjoying it. That's what I learned, and that's what I'm trying to do. Hopefully I'm doing a better job of it myself, but it should be good. Happy Monday, happy Tuesday. I'll see you guys around.
I genuinely don't believe that like what to do after college or even how to handle it is talked about enough. I went through college. I played so many sports in high school, and then I went and played college athletics. But whenever your college athletics end, and that's a lot of your identity, and then after you graduate college, it's just left out there in the open for you to figure out. It's really hard. Honestly, it has been for me. I have felt so directionless and so like lack of purpose and all these things because like, I don't know, there wasn't a guide, there wasn't a system, there wasn't anything to be like, it was just like, go figure it out again. People who love sports to that degree, it holds a special place and it's a part of them. And I still don't know how to move on from like my has-been days. I have all these wonderful opportunities leaping at me left and right. Like I just got off a reality TV show. Like you know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, go find a job. Like I understand that's what you're supposed to do like after you graduate college, but that doesn't fill the void or like anything of like the hole in your chest or your soul or like your identity at all. I don't want my career to be like all of me, you know? And I feel like a lot of people who, heck, even like theater, art, sports, anything that you did that ended after college is really hard to like bridge that gap. I'm just so tired of everything being like a band-aid for this. Like I want a solution. Like I want to healthily work through this and bridge that gap between like, I guess my identity crisis and like sports or like a true hobby or anything. I don't know if anybody else feels that way though. I feel just like like, cause you know, like college athletes, you go through a lot, man. You go through a lot in athletes or any kind of hobby like that in general. I don't know. Like, does anybody else feel this way? Has anybody else felt this problem? Like, you don't have to be a college athlete. It can be anything. It can be anything.
This is the number one piece of advice that I wish I had when I was completely lost, broken, and helpless and directionless with my career. I'm Miriam. I'm the number one career strategist and psychologist in Canada, and I help identify your ideal job based on your psyche. Number one piece of advice is that you have to profile yourself. You have to know what your strengths are and align your job to those strengths. Next piece of advice is that you need to start doing some assessments and figuring out who you are at your core. One of the number one assessments is Carl Jung's archetypes. You could find Carl Jung's archetypes by Googling Carl Jung archetypes and choosing the Psychology World quiz. Do the quiz and find out which archetype you are. I'm going to be separating this into 4 parts and giving you your ideal job category per archetype. Number 1, the hero. You are courageous, determined, and extremely goal-oriented. Therefore, the jobs for you are military, law enforcement, emergency services, competitive sports, leadership roles, entrepreneurship. You need roles that challenge you and give you the ability to prove your worth and make a tangible impact. Number 2 is the explorer. You are curious, adventurous, and very independent. Ideal roles are travel writing, exploration, adventure sports, research, environmental science, and international relations. You need a job that allows you to seek out new experiences on a regular. Number 3, we've got the caregiver. You are empathetic and caring and supportive by nature. Best jobs are nursing, counseling, teaching, childcare, human resources, and the nonprofit sector. Excel in roles that actually gives you the ability to help people and change their life and benefit them in a positive way.
If you're 20 to 30 and you're feeling lost, directionless, and purposeless, it's probably because you're not making principle-based decisions. Principle-based decisions are those choices that you make about your life that are not based on emotion, but they're based on the qualities of the type of person you want to be in the world. So how do you make principle-based choices? So I want you to take out a piece of paper and write down the qualities that you have, that you want to be known for, that you want to be most expressive of who you are for the next 20 or 30 years. And then when you're feeling tempted to make emotional choices in your life, I want you to pull out that sheet of paper and challenge yourself to say, this is who I want to be. This is who I am. I'm not going to make an emotional decision right now. I'm going to make a principle-based choice.
If you're someone who gets decision paralysis, these are my tips that I have been kind of collecting and learning as I've been in this weird lull period for the last 7 months. Number one, the first rule is to rule out what you cannot do. What is something that you cannot no longer tolerate, you do not want to endure, or like you just cannot, absolutely will not want to experience right now. Second rule is to focus on one decision at a time. The question is between option A and B, what you want right now in this moment today. Third tip is to focus on emotion first and then apply logic. How we make decisions is supposed to be a logical thing because we're thinking about all the pros and the cons and the good and bad things that can happen. But at the end of the day, it's actually really all about your imagination and what you're perceiving could happen. Think, which one do you want to do out of option A and option B? And then think, okay, is this actually possible? How am I going to make this work? And if all else fails, exaggerate the situation. Flip a coin. Make one side option A and one side option B, and flip the coin and pretend that whatever that coin lands on, you need to decide in your head, this is the decision. You're going to force yourself to make a decision, and then you're going to see how you react. Do you feel like hesitancy towards that, or do you feel excitement towards that? What I've learned about decision making in the past 6 months is that at the end of the day, your gut will always have the final say. Regardless, you will make a decision, and the best part is, it can't really be a wrong choice, because no matter what decision you choose, you're never going to know the outcome of the other choice. That's the other thing I wanted to say about this. You have to make some bad choices to learn. Whatever choice you make in this moment is going to be the right choice for you. I think you just have to trust yourself a bit with that too. I think we don't trust ourselves enough when we come to making decisions, or at least I don't. Hope that helps someone. And if you have any tips on decision making, please share them in the comments because I would appreciate it.
If you're in your 20s and feel like you don't know what you're doing with your life, you need to know about the unthought known. Unthought knowns are those things we know about ourselves, but forget somehow. Say you're grocery shopping and you need to buy jam and you're presented with 60 options. There are probably some preferences you actually do have about yourself. Maybe you don't like blackberries. Boom, eliminates 10 out of 60 options. Say another preference you have about jam is that it has to be organic. It already limits you down to like 5 remaining jams. Take the time and get to know yourself. So picking a career, for example, when I graduated college, I was super lost and I was like, I don't even know where to start. I was just so overwhelmed with the kind of jobs that I could be applying for. I thought I wasn't doing anything about it, when really I was just taking the time to get to know myself. When I think about what I liked to do as a kid, I loved to make YouTube videos. So remembering specifically that I liked to make videos and it helped me narrow down the areas of a career that were actually specific to my own preferences. If you're feeling a little directionless right now, answer this question. When you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up? You actually have a lot better of an idea of where you're going in life than you think. You just have to remember. I'll see you all next week for chapter 4 of the Defining Decade. Chapter 4 is called My Life Should Look Better on Instagram.
When you feel directionless, it's not because you don't have a direction, it's that you're scared of the destination. You always have a direction you're going, but the fear that you won't be happy when you get to wherever you're going paralyzes you from actually committing to where you want to be. Feeling directionless doesn't mean you don't have a direction, but you're overwhelmed by the fears that are associated with taking that direction.
So where do we go from here? As for me, I have always wanted a life of freedom, I think, and a life of just ease. You know what I'm saying? Being free. And I've always wanted to be where I want to be. And I have felt just stuck in a routine, stuck with, just a lack of progress, stuck with just stuck in life in general, and I just feel like I am, at least now, I am slowly making progress, and it is a great feeling for me. And I mean, it's life, it's life. You start something and it just doesn't work out, and it's fine. It's life, right? And all we can do is just keep on moving.
If you're feeling directionless, it's time to find purpose. Spend time in self-reflection and make a list of what is and isn't giving you pleasure in your personal and your work life. Do you remember a time in your life when you felt purpose and meaning? What were you doing? What did your life look like then? Take time to explore the world around you. Explore your interests. Find new ones. Try things. If you fail, so what? Learn from it. If you find yourself feeling good, pay attention to that feeling and learn from that. Serve others. We are hardwired to get pleasure from helping others. Giving to others and volunteering makes us feel good, makes us feel happier, and benefits the world. Be a part of that. And lastly, don't forget the importance of community. We are social beings in need of friendship, support, love, and a sense of belonging.
This is a song I'm writing for all you people out there who feel like you have no direction in life. Let me tell you, I'm 27, and I still don't know where I'm going, but that's okay. I'm free falling in the dark. See that star up there, it seems so far. If I just knew where to go, build a boat and sail a universe till home. That's not the way it works. We're not made of straight lines. We can try to gain control, only for a time. It's a winding road, but it's a hell of a ride. Regrets and woes and many sleepless nights.
That is it for today. I appreciate you guys watching the video, and like, comment, and subscribe down below, and see you in the next video.